Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be doing the second installment of Tea Time. Got Will to my right, Mac to my left. It's been a while since Mac was on the channel. I don't even know how long. When was the last time you were on the channel?
We did that package opening.
That with the Viking helmet?
No,
that was like a
with
year
the
ago.
jackets. With the jackets.
Jacket.
Bro, you were on for like 10 seconds.
No, I was the one on for 10 seconds. He was the one that unboxed it all.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And then when the file got corrupted too, that was
rough.
That was rough.
But yeah, so we are all here. Mac being my old roommate. Well, we're still roommates, but we had to be in close proximity to each other for a full year. So
yeah, that was
we know each other very well.
Well, too well.
yeah, whatever. Then we got Will. He's the veteran on the channel, the OG in some ways. And yeah, I put up a community post in the community tab for this week's topics that we're going to discuss during our tea time. We all have a cup. I think Will has green tea, I have Earl Grey, and Mac has green tea, but he put milk in it.
Yo, I didn't put milk in it. You put milk in it.
I put milk in it. I thought it would be funny, but anyways, we put the community post up to see what topics you guys would like us to discuss on this week's tea time, and you have left quite a few comments, so stay tuned. I'm going to probably do one of those community posts every week so we can have new topics. But I guess the first question, which is the first thing I saw, was if you left the United States, what is the one thing that you would miss the most? And Will's probably going to be like the most inclined to answer this because he was in the UK and saw what the UK had that we didn't have. So what's something like?
I miss like the roads. Like the roads we have in the US. They're pretty nice, at least compared to the ones in the UK. I remember I lived in Germany for a little bit and they were pretty tight as well. So I just think the roads are more fun over here. And like the cars are way more fun too.
Yeah.
I don't really mess with all the hatchbacks and yeah.
That is true because they subsidize like public transportation. It's just a completely different economy. But I agree that it's such a better interstate system in the United States. Like you can get from city to city very quickly, whereas in the UK you have all these tiny little roads and.
Yeah, I think it's just
probably like good hamburgers.
It's just newer in the US, so it's just more than
true.
I think I miss how it's so tight in Europe. I've been to Europe like not that much, maybe like 3 weeks total, but like I don't know, it's so tight over there. Like the cities are so crammed together. Like here, everything's so spread out, which is super nice.
So you miss like national parks.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I mean, like in Europe, if you go to mainland Europe, there's more sights to see, I guess, but more open. But still, like cities are super tight.
Yeah, I mean, even in rural areas, I remember seeing townhouses like crammed together. So it's definitely a smaller lifestyle, which I guess we're trying to move to in some ways, but that's just an American thing. Everything's bigger, especially Texas.
We like that a lot.
Yeah. I guess for me, what is one thing I would miss in the United States? I think something I'd miss in the United States is just, I don't want to say it, but like the food. And people, you guys are going to disagree with me because we were in Britain and there was diverse food, but I feel like in the United States, you can literally get anything. Like there's just any type of restaurant, especially in the cities. I mean, you can get literally from every country. So that's something I would miss, the food and the diversity. We've had this discussion about diversity before. I just think the United States is more diverse, and I don't think that the statistics say it. So that's something I would definitely miss is being around people from different places.
And burgers.
It's not saying that Europeans aren't from different places, more so different ethnicities and cultures.
Oh yeah. I guess it just feels like we're freer over here. I don't know. That's a good way to put it.
That's a wild thing to say.
Hey.
Yo, you just made them think you're like the typical American.
Hey, well, it's alright.
Do we want to get into some of these are a little more serious? Like, is marriage still important?
No.
You don't think marriage is still important?
I think it's just still just like something that people do. Like I don't know if it's like I guess for some people yes, I think other people no. I think when you look at like divorce rates and how high it is, like people are just getting married to get married. I think in a lot of instances, I think that like that marriages that last are marriages that like are supposed to happen and meant to be when someone's like really in love with each other.
Yeah.
Versus some people just get married because that's the next step in the relationship.
I was gonna say that's just the next.
And I just don't think there's like. I don't know about other countries, but definitely in America, like there's not a lot of benefits to being married anymore. Yeah. Like something like taxes and stuff like that, it's just not as important.
you can file joint taxes, and there's a couple benefits with that, but I am 100% agree, and I've expressed this on this channel a lot, that I'm really against the idea of marriage, and I just think it ruins so many people's lives. I've seen it ruin people's lives. 50% divorce rate in the United States. That would be a great comparison, seeing what it's like in the UK and other European countries.
Yeah, I wonder if there's videos on that.
There has to be, but yeah, you see, I don't agree with marriage, but I would disagree and say it is still important because there are so many societal pressures to get married, and I think that's why people get married. So in a sense, it's still important. I guess if the question was if it was important to us. Yeah, and that we would definitely be on the same.
I think if you really love someone, I think it's like right. You want to spend the rest of your life, but I just don't think it's necessary. Yeah, you don't have to spend the rest of your life with someone, just like and get married. Like you don't have to be married to do that.
If we think about its importance, like the evolution of its importance, think about it. Like I remember my grandma was saying, the philosophy back then was if you weren't married leaving high school, your life was going to be a failure.
That's crazy.
So if we think about where we've come from that, and that was everywhere. That's just how. Yeah, that's how it was. I mean, if you weren't married leaving high school, especially as a woman, then your life was going to be a failure. I mean, it's that's just what it was, and that's think about that pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people getting together with people they have no business being with, just completely different, and by the time they're settled in, they'll already have kids, and then boom, divorce. Messes up the kid's life. I mean,
I think so too. Like people used to have to get married.
Yeah.
Like you have to get married. Like a woman would have to get married because they're most likely they're not going to be working a job, or at least not a high-paying job that they can support themselves.
That's true. Yeah.
I think it's just marriage is evolving.
Yeah.
It means something different than it used to.
I think it's going down the right path though.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the divorce rate sucks and that splits families up, but I don't know.
Let's talk about what everyone's doing. So, like, what is the next 5 years looking like? Mac is not gonna like this question because he always like, oh, I take things week to week. I don't have any plans.
It's so contradicting of what I want to do. I just thought for the longest time that I wanted to do one thing, and I don't know anymore. There's just so many options. What to do?
Such a large guess, bro.
I mean, we get caught up like in your 20s of like you gotta decide the rest of your life, but it's not really the case. Just try to take it slow.
Could not imagine being here 5 years ago. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to think of 5 years ago.
Yeah, see, whatever we do guess is just gonna be completely wrong.
Just a guess.
Yeah, I never would not have predicted this.
Maybe I could predict the next year.
Hell no.
Maybe.
I wouldn't have predicted where I'm at now from last year.
It'd still be wrong.
It's insane. Like, just so much changes. Especially, I feel like these early 20s kind of years, there's just so much change.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it'll just continue, but 5 years, I'd see myself working a job. I still see myself doing YouTube in 5 years. I don't know where I would be.
I don't think you're stopping YouTube. I just don't see you ever.
Yeah.
I just think it evolves, but I just don't see you not doing that.
Yeah. Maybe YouTube will be my full-time job in 5 years. That'd be cool.
If it gets to that point, yeah.
Even then, I mean, you guys know I'm pursuing a degree, so I'll have a job lined up regardless, but maybe 2 jobs. I don't know.
I'll probably still be in school in 5 years.
Oh, God.
Yeah, pre-med.
That's just painful to think about. Now we see why Mac takes things week to week.
Yeah, because it's so long term, bro. I can't think about long term, like anxiety.
Yeah, that is rough. You just got to take things, I guess, week to week sometimes. It's definitely beneficial, but you still have to like think about what your options are in the future.
I think with running too, and just school in general, when we have exams every week, is like sometimes it is just week to week.
Yeah. And
you're just trying to get through, like, school is tough. Like, we're in college, like, school is not easy.
Oh, no.
Especially sophomore year is really tough. Starting to get into actual classes and, like, classes that are required for your major that you have to pass. And so it's, it's difficult.
Yeah, and you also see, like, in the classes, the kids who are struggling and they're just not going to make it.
Yeah, and then you see kids who are like way smarter than you, and you're like, bro, like, come on.
And they're barely putting any effort. Like, you get all walks of life, regardless of what university.
And people are like constantly working too, and it's like, dude, like, I have to go to practice for like 2-3 hours a day. Like, why? Like, but how am I supposed to compete sometimes?
Yeah, we are very busy. Like, I feel like we always say we're gonna do something on the weekend, and then it's just It never happens because
we make
we
plans
all
to always go to
yeah,
crab.
because we all get tied up. Like that's how busy we are. We hardly even have weekends free, honestly. I mean, we do here and there, but at the end of the day, we all have obligations that we have to complete on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean even like school, but also like family and stuff too. Like we have obligations to that.
Just a lot of
Exactly.
juggling, constant juggling, and deciding what fits into the schedule. So.
Yeah, I've been using that planner pretty well.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Are you gonna be in med school?
No.
Remember you can't do blood.
That's not med school, bro.
You can't do blood.
Yeah, that way I have to do
Yo.
that pre-farm.
Will
Come on, yo.
Will can't handle blood. He
Yeah.
gets super. What is it? Nauseous
Nauseous, yeah.
and
Squeamish.
Would you faint?
Yeah.
He's fainted.
He would faint at the sight of blood.
It's not like, it's like a certain time. It's like it oozing out. I'm like
Oh.
squeezing. I like cut my finger on a pizza cutter once and put it under like the sink, and I watched like it like go, and then it like that triggered it. It was bad. Or watching like movies with like gore.
Yeah,
movies.
we
I
watched
can't watch
American
gore.
Psycho, and Cam had to warn you every time there's blood.
Yeah. Close my eyes real quick.
So he can't be any. He can't
Yeah,
be a surgeon.
I'm gonna do like pre-med pre-farm.
Free
Pre-farms.
farm.
Pre-med. No, I can't really
He's
do
gonna be
that. I
selling
wanna
those
do
big
that.
drugs.
Or
You know
just
he's research.
research.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
can
know?
see you in farm, but like I can see more in farm than research.
What is
I can see
pre-farm?
both.
What is pre-farm even like? What does that even mean?
Couldn't tell you.
Drugs.
Does that mean you're gonna have to go to some type of program, or is it just?
Yeah.
He had to go to.
I'm still gonna go. I'm definitely gonna get a master's just because I want to. I don't know
Oh, he's
what it's
graduating
gonna be
next
for.
year. So.
Bro, Will's like, Will's graduating a year earlier than us. Not because we're behind.
Yeah, no, not because of that. Yeah.
He just had a ton of credits somehow from high school.
Yeah.
Kid's a nerd.
You act like we all aren't.
We're all. He's just a different type of nerd.
Different type.
But yeah.
That's probably what I'll be doing. Maybe. I have to get an internship first. That's what I've been thinking about
Oh,
every day.
yeah.
Every day I wake up.
Don't even bring that up.
Bro,
Literally
bro,
every
because
day.
it's like our parents too are like so
Oh,
about
God.
that, bro. Like,
The I word,
Like,
the
I
internship word. Oh God,
yeah,
it's dreadful.
it's not dreadful to actually do it. It's dreadful to like.
It's just the process
The-
of getting
the
it going
process.
and applying.
It's overwhelming. Like you don't know.
These
where to
companies,
start,
man,
bro.
they have you jump through all these hurdles just to put in an application to intern with them.
Yeah.
They have you create an account. They have you write a cover letter. They have you do this, that, and the third. Put every information that exists about you onto their
Because,
website.
I mean, there's a competition for it, but like,
Yeah. It weeds out the people who are interested and who aren't. Because we're interested, and we still haven't really gotten to that point. That's how difficult. Like, you just have to be so highly motivated. Because you have to do that in the midst of having all this coursework and stuff.
And it's for each different
Yeah.
anything you want to apply to, you have to do it all over again.
I mean, 15
Pretty much.
15
That's what
applications is probably going to take 15 hours, honestly. Which is a lot of time. So, we have to do that, though. Next summer, the goal is for all of us to have an internship.
Have
Some
some.
sort.
yeah, hopefully around here too.
Yeah.
Just stay around. We're
Some,
in a good spot though.
yeah, there's tons of different places around here. Sound like Wyoming.
Yeah, it's like all the
Yeah.
government stuff.
Imagine
Like
trying to
DC.
Yo, imagine if you're in like the
Yeah,
like
nowhere.
Nebraska or something, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get an internship, trying to work in a lab.
Like, bro, you're
Where's
gonna,
the labs?
Good luck.
Like, bro, you're gonna be an apprentice, like for welding. Like that's
Something
your
like-
option.
something
I'm gonna be
like 2
driving
hours
John
away.
Deere or something.
Someone from Wyoming's about to come in and be like, you guys are wrong.
I don't think they realize like how different parts of the country are.
Oh, it's so weird.
Like just regions. If you would compare the Midwest to the Southeast, like it's just completely different. Or even Mid-Atlantic, or even Northeast. Like there's just everything is just so different. Which is not. It's a lot different than the UK because it's kind of similar there. The landscape may be different, but the way they operate is still very similar. Like if you compare some cities in Scotland to cities in England, were they not very similar?
They had
There's some
they had
differences.
noticeable differences, but I
And the
it's the same for
architecture-
both, though. I think for both countries,
I don't know, bro.
there's similarities, but there's major differences, place to place. Like I've been to California, like Colorado, and like Wisconsin and stuff, and they're all like you can feel it. It's different. There's
Yeah,
like similarities.
but it's
that
also
you
like
felt
it's
in
so
the UK.
spread out. Like I drove through all of Kansas and it's like everything is the same.
Yeah.
Like it's just straight. That
Yeah.
road across Kansas is crazy.
Is it just one? What interstate is that? I don't even know.
I don't remember. It's the one. There was a more northern one that started in Kansas City, but you probably drove on it too. But it's
Kansas is so irrelevant, bro. It's like the Wizard of Oz.
I don't know if I've ever been
there.
to Kansas. I don't know if I ever drove through it.
Yeah, I think that's actually that's where a lot of the divide comes from in the United States, because you have just people living completely different lifestyles in their own worlds.
Yeah, I feel like it's getting better though. I think the internet is making things kind of better, but
you could argue for worse.
You kind of argue better for worse, but at least everyone's seeing the different ideas.
Yeah, that's the thing about technology is there's things it does better and there's things it does worse. It just magnifies and amplifies like tendencies in life. Like technology itself is not a force for bad, which is what a lot of people think it is, but
I think it's just different.
Yeah.
There's always arguments for when things change.
Yeah, but I just like the divide in the United States it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, we're for sure in a gilded era, but it's just weird.
I don't know what will change it though. It's just because it's so obvious. It's the people who live in rural areas and the people who live in cities.
But even in cities, it can be divided. But
it can be divided in
but
cities.
It's definitely
that's like the black and white way of putting it, but that's how
America
it goes.
sometimes it feels too big.
Yeah.
We get divided on people. We get arguments with people that are like, hundreds of miles away. Like, what's the point?
That is true. That's why we have states. It
feels a little big. Yeah, I guess states make it a little better.
But even some states, I mean, think about California.
Think about New York, like upstate New York versus New York City is completely different.
And yeah, that's why the rural areas hate the cities, and half the time they hate their governors, and vice versa. I mean, the people living in cities, think about people living in like Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, it's so weird.
I
spent a lot of time in Louisville. It is so weird. It is such a weird vibe.
That's just an example, because Kentucky is historically like a really red state. But then you have the cities, which are going to be more
it's
progressive.
starting to turn blue, which is crazy.
That's insane. I guess the cities got big or something.
It means getting bigger.
But yeah, I just can't imagine. Like, it's just political divide.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes it so much worse, is because it's two main parties, so you're forced to kind of pick a side.
Yeah.
And then you get wrapped up in that, and you're just taught to hate the other side. That's what the news tells you. And it's difficult. It's easy to get put down a pipeline on either side. So that's just where we're at in the United States.
Yeah, it's very. You guys know most, right? It's very like early 1900s.
But I think it's so unfair when people who don't live in the United States try and group us all together.
Yeah, it's not.
And they always do that, bro. Because I think what makes the headlines is like, the school shootings and lack of gun control and Supreme Court overturning things, and then people think, oh, that's their Supreme Court. Oh, this is what the president said. That means all the citizens.
Yeah,
are
but
like
we don't
that.
realize who's coming up with the most groundbreaking stuff. America, who's coming out with more progressive ideas, who's coming out with better technology, who's doing all these things. It's typically the U.S.
Yeah. So everyone thinks we're like backwards and stuff. I think the news just paints us in such a bad way, especially international news. But what can we do about that? It is what it is. Hopefully this has shown you guys we're not crazy.
We're not dumb either.
We're not that stupid. Well.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's get through this semester first.
Yeah, let's figure this one out. All right, guys. It was a good talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this tea time installment. If you guys have more topics, please put them in the comments down below. I feel like the topics from the community tab helped a lot to guide this one.
I think so, yeah.
Whereas last time it was kind of just everything.
Anything.
We're just going through random
Trying
stuff.
to find something.
So yeah, also comment down below. What would you guys like us to focus on? Do you want us to go kind of the news, political route, especially relating to the UK? Would you like us to talk about personal life? Would you like us to talk about economic stuff? It's up to you. So just comment it down below. And with that being said, guys, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.